You grew up thinking you were the problem. Too sensitive, too needy, too much. And maybe you still believe that today. But here's what nobody told you. The way you see yourself right now. The self-doubt, the guilt, the feeling that you're never quite enough. That didn't come from nowhere. It was built. Carefully. By someone who needed you small. These are 5 signs that your mother was a narcissist. And what it did to you. Sign 1. You apologize for things that aren't your fault. You say sorry when someone bumps into you. You apologize for taking up space, for having an opinion, for existing in a way that might inconvenience someone else. And you've probably been told your whole life that you're too apologetic, too passive, too quick to assume it's your fault. But here's where that came from. When you were a child, your mother's emotional state was your responsibility. When she was upset, it was because of something you did. When she was angry, you were the cause. When something went wrong, the blame found its way to you, so you learned to apologize before the accusation even came, to take the fault before it was assigned, because taking the blame early was safer than waiting for it to land. That's not a personality flaw. That's what happens when a child is used as an emotional dumping ground by the one person who was supposed to protect them. Sign 2, you never feel good enough. No matter what you achieve, you got the grade, you got the promotion, you hit the goal. And for about 5 minutes it felt good, and then the feeling disappeared, and you were already looking for the next thing to prove yourself with. This is called the moving goalpost, and your mother invented it. Nothing you did was ever quite right. The A could have been an A+, the win could have been bigger, the effort could have been more. There was always something missing, some final piece of approval that never came no matter how hard you tried. So you learned that achievement is not something to enjoy. It's something to use, to try to finally earn the thing you never got. Sign 3. You struggle to know what you actually want. Someone asks you where you want to eat, and you genuinely don't know. Someone asks what you want for your birthday, and you go blank. It feels like a small thing, but it isn't. Growing up with a narcissistic mother meant that your wants were irrelevant. What mattered was what she wanted, what she needed, how she felt. The entire household orbited around her emotional state, so you stopped having preferences, because having preferences led to disappointment, or conflict, or being told your needs were selfish. And now, as an adult, you have genuinely lost touch with what you want. Not because you don't have desires, but because you were trained so early to suppress them that you can no longer hear them. Sign 4. You became an expert at reading people's moods. You walk into a room, and within seconds you know exactly what everyone is feeling. You pick up on tension that no one else has noticed. You sense when someone is off before they've said a word. You're always tracking. Most people would call this empathy, and it is. But it didn't develop naturally. It developed because you had to. Your mother's moods were unpredictable. The emotional temperature of your home could shift without warning. And the only way to stay safe was to learn to read the signs before the storm arrived. So you became a specialist in micro-expressions, in tone of voice, in the specific way someone puts their keys down when they're angry. That hypervigilance kept you safe as a child, and it exhausts you as an adult. Sign 5. You feel loved only when you're useful. When you're helping someone, you feel worthy. When you're needed, you feel loved. When you have nothing to offer, you feel like a burden. This is the deepest wound a narcissistic mother leaves, because her love was never unconditional. It was transactional. You were loved when you performed well, when you made her look good, when you met her needs. And so love became something you earn, not something you receive. And now you give and give and give, and not out of pure generosity, but out of a deep terror that if you stop being useful, you will stop being wanted. You were never taught that you deserved love simply for existing. And that is the thing that needs to change. If you recognized yourself in any of these, that recognition matters. Not because it gives you someone to blame, but because it gives you somewhere to start. You spent years believing the story your mother told about you. You don't have to keep believing it.